the reason behind we are learning the cloud computing is now the way IT industry is working today, being the way the cloud was a year back. So they are because the cloud industry also solved relate number of issues related to security, and people are really investing onto the cloud. They can simply move into the easily move into the cloud. They can invest in lots of it. They are seeing lots of feature is already available into the clouds. That's why people is already now moving to the cloud. Now if you look from the spending in terms of the 2017 to 18, if you compare 2017 to 18, then your spending is almost 209 to 246, which is a huge one, and the 200 2018 we're still working on it, but I hope it is going to be it is going to be more than that. uh, Now this cloud computing opening a new career for the people like you and me, because now companies are looking for, either they are looking for the people who can enhance their skill or transform their currently skill to the new technology, or you can almost develop a new skill. So either develop a new skill, or you can simply uh, transfer your skill from existing to the new one so that you can use it, and that's create a lots of opportunity. Now if I just look into the uh, concept with respect to 2017 data, as per the right scale, almost public cloud, and what is this public private, we'll talk about it, but 41% is date is currently is in public, 38% in private, and non-cloud is just 21%. So it means um, almost 80% already moved to the cloud in terms of the public or private whatever. So only 20% remain the data or server which is on premises. So now, if you look from the challenges with respect to 2016 and 17, the 16 and 17 challenges are, if people are facing a number of challenges in 2016, like they were seeing that 32% organized. This is basically as per the survey, CIO and CTO, they are seeing a lack of resources 32% in 2016, which is reduced to 25% in 2017, and is reducing further because people are getting trained, people are moving to adopting a new technology respect to cloud and then moving on. Same case goes for security, compliance, governance. All the things are people actually there. This is reducing security. If people have a concern, almost 29%, their concern is almost reduced from 29 to 25%. So this is almost a challenge ahead with respect to year ahead. So that is the reason why you and me, we are here and we are learning a cloud, because it is opening a new gateway for a new for a new technology, and people are ready to move it. If I simply ask, what is a cloud computing? What do you mean by the cloud computing? The word cloud computing in simplest form means accessing anything over the internet. Now, accessing over the internet means you can access your this is your server, which you have their application, and this is your internet. If you are accessing anything over the internet, it means the cloud computing. This anything can be your application, can be your server, can be your storage, can your software, whatever. Something like deploy your web server on the cloud. You can deploy your you can store your data like Google Drive or OneDrive, or you can host your web server onto the cloud. All these are part of the cloud computing. So if I'm using this word cloud computing, it is accessing over the internet. It means, is it something new? Is it something new? No. The reason behind it is no, I'm saying no, because I remember almost 20 years back, 20 years back, I was using a email which is a Hotmail almost 20 years back, and Hotmail is also one of the application of the cloud one, because you are accessing your email over the internet, which can be a software or application. What happened suddenly? The organization or people start moving to the cloud uh, when something is already exists since long. And the answer is basically onto the line two, because the organization who's providing these services are charging from the user as a utility service, as a utility, the way you pay for your water, electricity. It means you can pay whatever you are consuming. uh, if you are consuming say 100 liter of water, you can pay for that. You are consuming 100 unit of electricity, you can pay for it, instead of paying any additional upfront cost, commitment cost. No, all the things you can simply pay as per whatever you're consuming. So pay whatever you're consuming. This is known as this is one of the best impact, which or I can say which creates a major impact into this technology, because people are seeing it is one of the best usage, because they don't need to worry about it. They can just simply use, let's assume that I am just creating a virtual machine in my cloud. I'm using for 1 hour, I just pay for 1 hour. I can use it for 10 hours, I can pay for 10 hours. I not need to worry about whether I should uh, pay anything with in advance, or there's any commitment charge, any minimum amount of the time I need to commit. No, you can use it whatever you are going to consume. And the companies who are using this cloud computing is known as service, or providing the services known as cloud providers. Cloud providers. This is the simplest form of your cloud computing. If you have any question, you can also raise a hand. I just clear everyone's hand. Now, if you have any question, you can put your question here, and then I'll unmute you. Just give me a minute, guys. Nitin, yeah, go ahead. You have any question? Nitin, you have any question?
Uh, Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was something called grid computing. So how was that?
Sorry, your lots of background noise. Not able to
Uh,
hear you. I'm so sorry.
now, now,
Lots of background noise. Not
so
able to hear you.
like there used to be a paradigm called grid computing.
Not able. No, sorry. Lots of background or
Like
echo.
prevalence in like 10, 11 years.
Nitin, lots of background and echo. Not able to hear you. Nitin, not able to hear you. Lots of background noise and echo.
Uh,
Can you reduce your volume and then speak? Okay, you're talking about grid computing. I'll respond. Okay, leave it. I'll update you. Not no need to worry. Okay. Brijesh, go ahead. Brijesh, any question? Okay. Saina Gupta, Sainaga Gupta, or Balanagu.
Yes, I have a
Yeah, go ahead.
question. How much, how we are utilized resources in cloud, network resources,
So will
and
will I understand your question, but no need to worry. I will take care of this question once we start talking about the modules like EC2 and the network. How we are consuming it, you can get and understand. So let's today's we are just talking about the basic of one. Let's keep it here. But I understand what your question. Will you'll get a better understanding when we do the EC2 and networking, how to consume it and how to pay it. That is your question, correct?
yes, yes. And one more thing, actually, right now I am working on OVM. You know about OVM. It was
SCCM.
introduced by Oracle.
Yeah. Okay.
Oracle Commissioner. That is also it's a part of the private cloud. I think so.
I don't know about the OVM. It is something like appliance, database appliance, right?
It's not a plans. It's a virtual machines.
I'm not very not in Oracle, so not aware.
Oh, okay, okay, fine. Sorry.
Uh, Thank.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Tejesh.
Hey, good evening. I do have a question. See, I'm actually looking for AWS Certified Developer Associate certification. So, am I in the right session or?
This is AWS Solution Architect Associate, not a developer one.
Okay, so yeah.
You are
So
looking for certification in developer one.
yes, yeah.
No, this will not take you to the developer solution. Probably almost things are almost same, not much changes. But
Hmm.
if you are with respect to understanding, yes, it will take you to the certification. But otherwise, we are majorly talking about this course is based on AWS Solution Architect Associate.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, hi. Am I audible to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Brijesh. I'm sorry, I had a trouble with the browser, so I was just able to make it now. So,
Okay.
I mean, what really did I miss? And are we starting at 7:30 or 7? I mean, as the time.
The time is 7, but you are not miss anything because we are just starting the first one because we just completed the introduction mode. So no need to worry.
Okay, great. May I have your name as well, please?
My name is Ahmed, and basically, I am a AWS Solution Azure and Google certified solution architect and a consultant. So I'm also taking a training. But in simple word, you can call me Ahmed Majid Zahuri or Ahmed. Okay.
Ahmed. Okay. Thanks
Yeah.
for your name. Okay.
Thank.
So we are just starting, so I'll keep myself on mute. We can go through.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. 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 Thank you. Okay, guys. Let me just take few more slides, then I'll take your question. Uh, consumption and cloud provider. Uh, cloud provider Harsh is basically who's providing the service. Like uh, HP providing you a hardware, so it's a hardware provider. Airtel providing you a mobile services is a mobile service provider. Same way, companies who's providing these services known as cloud services provider like AWS, Azure, Google, DigitalOcean, Oracle, IBM. And consumption means, in this case, consumption means whatever you are consuming, you need to pay for it. If you are creating a cloud services and you are creating a virtual machine, and you are creating your virtual machine for and using it for 1 hour, and after that you terminate your machine, you need to pay for 1 hour, and then you can exit. That is what we mean by the consumption. And okay, so consumption means whatever you're consuming means you are using it, and provider is the organization which is providing you the services. Okay, now the minute we talk about the cloud computing, what is the basic definition of the cloud computing? The basic definition of the cloud computing, and the basic definition of the cloud computing is, the cloud computing is a model for enabling ubiquitous, convenient, on demand network access to a shared pool of configurable computing resources that can be rapidly provisioned and released with minimal management effort or service provider interaction. So that is the basic definition of the cloud computing. Now let's understand one by one. Now the term comes as shared pool of configurable computing resources. Now let's understand this one. Okay, so let's assume this is your physical machine. This physical machine have a 10 GB RAM and say 5 processor. On this virtual machine, I'm creating this physical machine. I'm creating few virtual machine. Let's say 4, and then I'm assigning these resources or sharing these resources to these VMs. That what we are. That is the meaning of the shared pool of configurable resources. It means I have the resource which I'm assigning to my virtual machine, uh, and they are working on it. So this shared. So it means the cloud computing is one of the important aspect of the cloud computing, that they should work onto the virtualization technology. And sometime you can also get a physical machine access, but majority of it, or I can say 99%, the entire cloud basically work on your uh, virtualized environment, where you can simply create your machine, which is a virtual machine, and which is running on top of your physical machine. This is what is a cloud computing. Cloud computing means your resources should be assigned to the machine, and or pool of the resources should be assigned. That what does I mean by the shared pool of configurable resources. So cloud computing should be built on this virtualized technology. Now, this resources which you are creating can be rapidly provisioned and released. It means I can simply create. Guys, I'll take a question once I complete few slides, then I'll take your question. So you can keep asking. I'll respond to you. Now, this rapidly provision and release means this virtual machine you can create and delete or terminate whenever you want. So in the mid of the night, your manager asks you to create a 2 VM. You can simply create it. You're not supposed to ask any help from service provider or anyone else. You should be self-sufficient. You should have access to the cloud portal where you can log in and create these VMs. Now, probably after a 1 hour or 1 day, you came to know that you don't require these VMs, or you just required out of two, you need to only one. You can simply terminate it. That means releasing it. So this provision and release can be taken care by you without any one's interference or help. You can do it by yourself. That what does it mean by the rapidly provision and release with minimal management effort or service provider interaction. Now the first line talks about enabling ubiquitous, convenient, on-demand network access. Ubiquitous means globally. It means globally. It can be anywhere. So ubiquitous means it should be anywhere. And what is the what does the thing you require to access your cloud? You require the internet. If you have an internet, you can access your cloud resources from anywhere, either mid of the jungle, mid of the sea, whatever. Convenient, it should be easy. You should have a portal where you can log in. You can understand it very well and you can do it. On demand network access. On demand means whenever you want. If you want to create a machine on the midnight, you can do it. If you want to create a machine into the mid of the uh, uh, middle of the at 2 a.m. or whatever time, it should be accessible or should be available 24 into 7 in simple word. Now if I just again re-emphasize what does this means, cloud computing. So cloud computing is a model which is based on the virtualized technology, which should be accessible from anywhere, which should be managed by the user without taking any help, and he can create and provision delete a resource uh, easily uh, with respect to cloud. So that is what we mean by the cloud. Now, cloud model is composed of 5 essential characteristics, 3 service model and 4 deployment model. 5 essential characteristics, 3 service model and 4 deployment model. Now, the 5 essential characteristics, few we already discussed about it. Resource pooling, we already discussed about it. Broad network access means which can be accessed from anywhere. Rapid elasticity means I can create resources as much I want and I can delete it as much I want. So it's up to me. There's no restriction. On-demand self-service means which should be on-demand means whenever you want. Self-service means you can do it yourself without taking any help. The only one word uh, which is measured services is a different one. The measured services means it should be when whatever resources you are consuming, you should know how much you have consumed so you can pay for it. Measured months, there should be something which measure your services so that we know how much we have consumed and we can pay for it. That is what is the 5 essential characteristics. The purpose of these 5 essential characteristics, someone saying that I am a cloud computing, my organization, my infrastructure is a cloud computing, then it should have all these 5 characteristics. If they are they have 5 characteristics, I can call them as a cloud computing. Now, the service model are known as IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS, which is infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. Let's try to understand it. Now, let's take example. This is your data center. In this data center, you have your network, you have a storage, you have virtual machine or physical machine. Now, you have our on-premises data center resources, who's managing this data center. Now, whenever you need to build a application, what is the requirement? First of all, you need to deploy a operating system. So deploying any application, you required first of all on a virtual machine or physical machine, whatever, and on top of it, you will install the OS. Once your OS get installed, you may install the database. On top of it, you can install your application, and this application is going to be accessed by the user. This is how you are currently doing it. Now, if I outsource up to this line, we call it infrastructure as a service. Means now someone, not you, is managing up to this line. If there's a problem in physical machine like hardware, RAM, they will manage it or replace it. If there is if virtualization will also manage by them, like VMware or ESXi. If there's a problem in data center management, 24/7 support of data center, resource management, networking, storage, everything will manage by them. You as a consumer or user, you are just responsible from here to here. It means you need to install the operating system. If there is a problem in operating system, you need to manage it. But please remember, just operating system. If there's a problem in hardware, you're not supposed to manage it. If there's a problem into your the software which is managing your virtualization, which we call a hypervisor, you're not supposed to manage it. It will be taken care by the organization who's providing this IaaS service. But you need to install your OS, database, application, and manage it yourself. Now, if I outsource up to this line, we call as a platform as a service. Platform as a service means now that organization who's managing my IaaS will also going to install the operating system. If there's a problem in operating system, is going to manage by them. They will also install the database and manage by them. I am just responsible for creating my code or application it and upload it. If there's a problem in application, I need to solve it. But if there's a problem in anything else, like database, operating system, hardware, will manage by your service provider, which we call a platform as a service. Usually it is used by the developers, because developer just required to concentrate on code, upload the code and use it. And when you outsource your everything up to this line, which is known as software as a service, now means you are responsible, you are not responsible for anything. You are using your application like a software as a service, something like Gmail. Go create your account and start using it. If there's a problem in application, you're not supposed to worry it. And a part of it, everything is same. So IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS is a three model where you can use it you can use what kind of services you are providing. Now another concept is known as deployment type, which is known as public, private, hybrid, and community. Let's understand that. Now this is the public. This can be a public. This is a private. Public means you are using as a rent. Private, you are a owner. For private, your organization should buy all this hardware, your software, and everything. You need to buy your hardware, software, and everything, and you can use it. You are the owner. Whereas public, you are not the owner. You are just using as a rent. You are paying for a rent and enjoying. Another thing, private is only used by the user of your organization or the minute I use both, I call as a hybrid. Hybrid you means when you're using public and private both, or uh, uh, public, private, and or what or whatever combination. Now the last one known as community. The community means something like all the in Delhi, all the hospital decided to create their own cloud. So what they do, they create a cloud which is used by employee of these hospitals, 5 6 hospitals, and managed by these 5 1. So they're just creating a community and use it, something like uh, schools, colleges, hospitals, whatever. They just create a group, and then they are managing a cloud which is known as a community cloud, and we can use it. This is a what with respect to your deployment models and essential characteristics and service model. If I just compare these 5 model, so you can see that on premises you need to manage everything. The minute you go to the infrastructure as service, you just need to manage your operating system, middleware, data, and application. If you are a platform as service, you need to manage your data and application. And SaaS, everything is managed by the service provider. So I'm just opening for the question, and we'll just conclude up to this one, and we'll next module will take tomorrow. But I'm just opening a question now. Give me a minute. So if you have a question, you can go ahead and ask me. Just give me a minute. Just a minute. If you have any question, you can raise your hand also. What's the consumption? So Ravi is asking, what is the consumption? Is the only reason for everything moving towards cloud? No, consumption is not only thing. Ravi, consumption is one of the way. So out of 10 things, consumption is 1 point. You have a much more. When you complete this course, you understand that what is that much more. Johnny, okay, go ahead with your question. So the public and private. Public means like AWS, Azure, Google is all are public, where anyone can go and create the resources. Whereas private means which is I am deploying on my own premises and used by my own employees, something like OpenStack or Azure Stack. So this is one of the difference one. Okay. So community means community is a form which you can say is a private but also a public. Private in the terms of all the one used by the all the 5 say hospital who created organization, or you can say them, for them is become a public. So it is a mix of it. Okay. You can say, Harsh, it is a protected one, but only from the organization who's just using it. So protected one. Now the rapid elasticity means you can create, elasticity is the word, it means you can just stretch and release. So it means you can create a multiple virtual machine as you wish, and you can delete this virtual machine as you wish. So if you want 10 machines now, create it. After 1 hour, you don't require out of 10 5, you can simply delete it. So elasticity means you can create, provision and release. Yeah, hybrid is a combination of both. Okay, guys, just give me a minute. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. Yeah, Manish, I just trying to unmute you. I don't know. There's some problem with your. Okay, Tejesh.
Uh, hey, Ahmad. So my question is regarding this rapid elasticity. So you said like we can just increase and decrease the virtual machines based on our requirement. So now say I do have setup, a virtual machine setup with all the, pool of softwares that I need to run my application, and I do have my application code in one of the virtual machines. Now
Hmm,
I just want to increase, another couple of virtual machines with the same configuration. Now, do
correct.
I have to do it like from the beginning, or I
No,
just can duplicate it like with, yeah.
you can just duplicate, and we can. There's one of the module known as auto scaling. We'll talk about it. It
Mhm.
will just create your replica of the machine multiples. So whenever your demand increase, it will create add machines. When your demand
Mhm.
decrease, it will reduce it. So no need
Okay,
to.
yeah.
It just becomes a replica. Okay.
Okay, thanks, sir. Yeah.
Thank you. Guys, probably I'll not able to. One just a minute. Yeah, Ankur.
Hi, Ahmed. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Right. So when we work on the hybrid cloud, so how do we decide the share between what resources we are using from public domain and what resources are we going to use from private, or it depends on the case by case basis?
It is business case. It is you need to decide. Probably you want to create a, you want to take a backup services from the cloud, you can use the
Mhm.
backup one. You want to take a storage of service of the cloud, you can use the storage one. It is a business case, and you need to
But then,
decide what you want to use on premises and what you need to use on cloud. So you need to
so
understand what is the pricing and everything, and then you can use it. Yeah.
so how can I ensure the security piece then? Because over here, what we are doing is we are balancing between public and private. So how can we maintain that we don't breach or no one can intrude into our hybrid cloud?
So that is the reason you are learning the cloud, because you need to ensure that when you're moving to the cloud, all it's supposed to be secured enough with all aspect. So
Okay,
that
no,
is a
that's fine.
question you need to understand. Is something which you need to it is not something which is my AWS responsible, because cloud is a shared responsibility model. AWS also responsible from their area, but you are also responsible from your area, because the data you are copying the data, and you are providing the access to this data to the people, which may be a read access, write access. So you need to ensure that what kind of access you are putting, and ensuring that no, it cannot be it cannot be whatever you called. Uh, it should be protected probably, and you need to add few more services like DDoS, WAF, and you need to pay for additional amount if you're going into cloud and protect yourself. Okay.
So does AWS provide the private cloud service as well, or they don't
No,
do that?
no,
No.
AWS not a
Okay.
private, is a public, is a public one.
Yeah, because in Vodafone we do provide private cloud.
That's fine, but AWS, I'm talking about AWS now.
Okay. No, that's fine.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. Okay, guys, just a minute, let me just take, yeah, see, Parveen, yeah, go ahead. Guys, just give me a minute. Who's putting in a question? I'll just respond. Just give me 2 minutes. Yeah, Parveen,
Uh,
go ahead.
uh, yeah, hi, Ahmad. Actually, the question was regarding the rapid elasticity. Then I believe I have put that question in the question box. But also one more thing, I just wanted to check with you. Is there any other chat window where I can see the other questions as well, where the other members or participants are asking, or is this
No,
the
there's
same?
only
I
one.
mean,
There's
only
only
okay,
one question. Yeah, nothing
okay,
else.
okay, fine, fine.
So
Okay,
I
thank
hope
you.
you understand the elasticity, right?
Yeah, I understood that. Right.
Oh, no
Thank
problem.
you.
Thank you. Okay, Sai, I don't know why I'm not able to unmute yourself. There's some problem. Probably you can put your question in the chat. Sai, yeah, I'm just, now you are. Can you ask your question? Done. Saina Gupta, Balanagu, Sarana
Yeah,
Gupta.
hi. I have. Is there any
Go ahead.
high? Yeah,
Wait,
yes,
wait.
yes. Is
Lot.
there any
Yeah,
high availability option on AWS?
yeah. We have a load
Hello,
balancer. We have
can
auto
you hear me?
scaling. Yeah, I'm able to hear you. Are you?
No, I'm
Are you
asking.
able to?
Okay, load balancer auto scaling. Okay, yeah, I'm able to hear you, and
Yeah.
I'm asking about high availability.
So load balancer is one option. Auto scaling
Okay,
is one other option, and
okay.
so these all are basically you, and Route 53 is another option for high availability. We'll talk
Oh,
about it when we'll do to the modules.
okay, okay, fine, fine. Thank you very much.
Guys, I'm not take. I see. I need to close this session in next 5 minutes. So I'm just now taking the question from the chat one. Give me a minute. John, private guys, just wait. Private means which can be only accessed by my organization, and I am buying it. So I am just working in a company. I'm a ABC company. It means I am buying this hardware, license everything for me, for my organization, and deploying it, and is going to use by my organization. That is known as private. Community means now this buying using is by the few organization which is creating a group as a community, and they are managing it in simple word. Okay, right, John? Johnny, I hope you understand. Santosh, measured means you are measuring it like your mobile, like your meter services. You are putting meter into electricity, meter into the water. You should know now how much you have consumed so that you can pay for it. That is the purpose of the measured services. Use it, how much you have consumed, and pay for it. Otherwise, how you know how much electricity you consume and how much you need to pay for it? If you don't have some mechanism, then becomes an issue between you and the electricity service provider. So we have a measured services. So Yog, I not seen your raise hand, but let me just see your question. Uh, Guys, just a minute. Guys, if I miss anyone's question, just let me know. Uh, is there any model where one organization can work across service provider? Yeah, you can use some third party tool. Some tools are coming which you can use, and then you can manage all the multiple organization from single console. So it is not provided by this service provider, but you can use some third party tools. One is Nutanix. Nutanix is providing a one console where you can manage it multiple one. Okay. So Yog, I'm not able. Okay, leave it. Okay, guys, I'm so sorry. I need to disconnect the session. I'll will take the session. I'll take your question tomorrow. Okay. So you can ask me. You can ask me tomorrow. I just need to log off. Else this session will be disconnected in the next 2 minutes. So probably you can just keep your question, and we'll take this question tomorrow. So no need to worry about. Just I just need to disconnect the session, and whatever the question you have, you can just ask me tomorrow. I'll explain it. So no need to worry about it. Okay. Because today's session is just 1 hour. I just need to log off and close it before just a minute. Just explain resource pooling. See, Parveen, the resource pooling here means like virtualization environment. Virtualization means you are creating a virtual machine and your utility bill, you are paying for electricity bill once you know how much you have consumed and you can pay for it. Guys, thank you.